Is the ruling about city council meetings or about exclusions from city buildings?
It's fairly broad, actually, and I'll let Dan speak about that a little. But basically, the ordinance you have, the city code provision authorizes the mayor or his designee to exclude person from city property, and that ordinance has been enjoined in its entirety to prohibit prospective exclusions.
That's correct, Commissioner Fritz, members of the council. What the decision of the judge in that case was that the code provision as written is unenforceable. So at this point, there is an injunction granted against the entire enforcement of that provision.
But it seems to me those are two different things, that people expressing their views however loudly and potentially obnoxiously in city council is different from threats of violence either in council chambers or in city offices. And I'm wondering if the appeal could be, either the appeal could be narrowed, or could we quite quickly change city code to distinguish between those two things?
Excuse me. Sort of, yeah. I think the answer to your question is yes, both parts. I think, first of all, I don't think anybody, certainly the judge didn't suggest that you can't exclude people from your meetings when they disrupt your meetings. The only issue is, if somebody disrupts your meeting today, do you have to let them come back and disrupt your next meeting before you exclude them again?
That's not my question. My question is for somebody who threatens violence.
And we will certainly make that argument.
Well,
we will make that.
It's
does
different.
the ruling encompass both
Yes,
scenarios?
the ruling simply prohibits you from enforcing that ordinance at all.
My contention would be that somebody losing their temper today doesn't necessarily indicate they're going to lose it again next week. But whereas somebody who says, I'm going to kill you no matter how long it takes, should indeed have some time where they're not coming in on a daily basis to tell me that they're going to kill me.
Right, and I understand that, and we will certainly make that argument. The thing I would say is that it is true that one person might simply have a bad day today, and if excluded on day one, may get the hint and conform his or her behavior the next time around. Some people, frankly, don't do that, and you wind up having to serially exclude people who come in and disrupt your proceedings frequently.
Well, we do, but that's disruption, and that's disrespectful to other citizens who might be waiting to testify, but it's not a threat of danger. So does our code currently allow us to exclude people prospectively who are dangerous?
Yeah, it does, except it allows you to exclude people who violate the rules of conduct established for city buildings, and those include disruptive, threatening, violent behavior, among other things.
Could the council establish a policy that we uphold free speech, and although we are concerned about disruption of council meetings because of that impacts on other citizens, that that will be subject to exclusion for the day, whereas for people who have threatened bodily harm to us or city employees, we may continue to exclude for certain periods of time?
We are happy to review the code and propose amendments that will accomplish that for you. We will do that. We would prefer to well, we think it's in your interest. Let me say this is your decision. They're your meetings. It's your ordinance. So what you do about it is up to you. It's not up to me. But our advice is that you should do that on a parallel track with an appeal of this decision, because we think the consequences for you are significant.
Similar to the previous one, is there a particular